So now that I'm thinking of the rules, this may not be true, but I think it's one of the rules that people fight us the most on.
Yeah. And probably the one they fight us the most on is number 10. So we'll get to that one. You'll see when you see it. We
But
should have put these in order.
I know, in order of what
Fighting.
you're going to hate the most. People, here's one thing I will say about drinking a gallon of water a day. If you are struggling with this rule or you don't agree with this rule, that's fine. You can have whatever opinion you like. Oh my gosh, I drink so much water. Well, Betty, how much water do you drink? 2 glasses a day, 2 8-ounce. Yes, all of them. Or I drink a whole water bottle, like a little squishy one from Costco that costs 25 cents. I'm so confused. If you cut out all the other fluid sources out of your day, so and I'm not suggesting you have to, but it's just an example. The coffee, the mocha chocolacalinos, the juices, the everything that you are taking in is fluid that is not water, then you will find that you are thirsty and you can easily consume this gallon of water a day.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red. Carrie Thompson is joining us, and we are excited. It's not just me. We are excited to bring you another Back to Basics. We are on part 5 of Back to Basics. And like we said in the last podcast, why are we doing Back to Basics? Because like Carrie said, we've got thousands of rebels coming through Code Red every month, and they are new. And there are some of us that have been doing this so long, we know this stuff like the back of our hand, but they don't know.
And sometimes, Cristy, I find that they don't know why. And then we're having to kind of re-explain why we have the rules the way we do. And I mean, not that we have to re-explain, but it's just nice to kind of be like, oh, you might want to know how this came about. And just like the food list in our last podcast, what we're going to talk about today has evolved over time. Would that be fair to say, Cristy?
It sure has, because we learn things just like you learn things. And especially like the first rule, I'm already like, oh, well, we kind of say this now. So absolutely, we evolve, we learn things new. I've been in the health and fitness industry for 28 years, almost 29 years. And I've started doing Code Red, like you guys all know it, back in 2012, 2013. In fact, 2012, I just saw my memory on Facebook of me sitting on the floor of my Palmatier house, writing custom programs with a pen and paper and putting them in manila envelopes, and they were $149. And so a lot has changed in the last 10 years that I've been doing this. So let's go with the Code Red rules. We're going to start with number 1. You can find this list in the Code Red Revolution book. You get the list when you join the 10-pound takedown. You get the list when you get a home study program. But there are lots of places to get the list. And so the rules list, let's get started. Number 1, sleep at least 7 to 8 hours every single night. And this is one of those things where I learned, we want you to be in the 80s on your sleep score.
And we just did a podcast on this one.
Yes.
Right?
We
did. I don't think you guys need us to know, but if you do not sleep, you will not lose weight. There are some rare people, but for the most part, this is a very true. Your body, again, thinks you're having a stress response, and in response to the stress, releases the hormone cortisol, and the hormone cortisol helps you hang on to fat and to body weight because it thinks you might be injured.
Right. Yeah. And please go back to that. Listen to that podcast. We're not going to re-explain this, but it is a rule. You ain't sleeping, you ain't losing. Number 2, we want you to drink at least a gallon of water a day. This is non-negotiable. We also did a podcast on this one, but this is one of the 10 challenge rules. You've got to drink at least a gallon of water per day. It's vital. It is this right behind sleep. It is the number 2 biggest rule.
And Cristy, I think it's probably I'm not looking at all the rules in front of me. So now that I'm thinking of the rules, this may not be true, but I think it's one of the rules that people fight us the most on.
Yeah. Yeah. And probably the one they fight us the most on is number 10. So we'll get to that one. You'll see when you see it. We
But
should
I
have
feel
put these in
I
order.
know in order of what you're gonna
Fighting.
hate, what you're gonna hate the most. People, here's one thing I will say about drinking a gallon of water a day. If you are struggling with this rule or you don't agree with this rule, that's fine. You can have whatever opinion you like. Oh my gosh, I drink so much water. Well, Betty, how much water do you drink? 2 glasses a day, 2 8-ounce. Yes, all of them. Or I drink a whole water bottle, like a little squishy one from Costco that costs 25 cents. I'm so
Yeah.
confused. If you cut out all the other fluid sources out of your day. So and I'm not suggesting you have to, but it's just an example. The coffee, the mocha chocolacalinos, the juices, the everything that you are taking in is fluid that is not water, then you will find that you are thirsty and you can easily consume this gallon of water a day.
Number 3, we want you to eat a veggie with every single meal. And this is going to help you fill up with fiber. You're going to get nutrients and you're going to fill up with fiber. And this really helps people transition from the standard American diet, which is 60% crap carbs, to Code Red, which is a high fat, low carb lifestyle. So we really want you to eat that veggie with every meal. This really is non-negotiable, isn't it, sis?
No, it isn't negotiable. And it's easy. Bacon, eggs, and avocado. Yes, avocado is a fruit. You can use it for this. You could have cucumbers and you could have tomatoes in that yummy Olive Garden dressing. That stuff is delicious in a plate. I mean, you can have pot roast and green beans. That was my absolute
steak and asparagus.
Steak and asparagus. So don't complicate it. Just make sure whenever you sit down to eat that you have a veggie with your meal. And you can make it mostly veggie. You can make a little bit of veggie. You can go crazy with the veggie. Cristy, people love, just to give people ideas, people love the guacamole cups. So they'll have like 3 or 4 hard-boiled eggs, maybe a little pile of pepperonis, like make your own little bento box, your own little Lunchable. Bento box is the fancy Lunchable. And then a guacamole cup. I'm telling you, when I was losing weight, I ate guacamole cups on the regular and they were delicious.
Maybe I'll go to Costco and get some of those. I never even thought I need something a little different for me too. So guys, it's really not hard. Number 4, we want you to only eat 2 or 3 meals a day. No snacking in between meals. 2 or 3 meals a day, no snacking in between meals. And again, on the 10-pound takedown, I will do a special teaching each day, teaching you something new. And I teach you why we believe what we believe. But for right now, there's no 3 meals and 2 snacks bull crap. Why do you think Americans are 88% overweight and sick? Because of that baloney.
Do you care if I take just a second? I won't take long to explain the quick science behind it, Cristy.
Sure.
When we're going from being a sugar burner to a fat burner, a sugar burner wakes up in the morning, you put a bagel in your mouth, you put a big Dunkin' Donuts coffee in your mouth, you go on for your day. Your brain, your body needs glucose. So it goes to that donut, it goes to that bagel, it goes to that coffee, it uses it, and it puts the extra somewhere on your body because it doesn't need that much glucose. That is how you operate now. You may have a sandwich for lunch and chips. It takes the glucose out of the sandwich, out of the chips, the veggie and the meats, they're utilized appropriately, and it puts the extra on your body. So that is why we as a society in 30 seconds, that's why we're heavy, y'all. Like, it's not complicated. Now, when you go to Code Red, you become a fat burner, meaning you wake up, you have bacon, eggs, and you have an avocado cup. And so your body is nourished. Your body gets lots of great fats and calories, but your cells now have to go find glucose because you didn't feed it cheap, easy glucose. So because your cells are searching, they go through a very complicated process that I won't explain to you with acetones and gluconeogenesis. Don't worry about all that. Let me give you the easy version is that it goes and finds it in your fat. It goes to the back of your arms. On me, it goes to my big booty Judy. It might go to your love handles. It might go right here to your neck. I don't know where your fat is, but wherever it's stored, your body goes there and it says, well, Betty didn't give us cheap, easy glucose, so I'm going to go get it off my neck. And it goes and uses that. And that is how you lose weight on Code Red. So if you eat all day long, or you eat more than 2 or 3 times a day, you are not going to give your body time to be a really efficient fat burner. That's the short of it.
Yeah, the magic happens in between meals. And you got to force your body to go find energy. And when you don't give it any food in between those meals, it has to go find it off your big booty Judy. So that's the bottom line. And we'll talk more about that on the challenge. Number 5 is no candy, alcohol, or sweets allowed. I don't know why, but we do need to make it very clear. I can't, I do get people that still say, I can have Michelob Ultra, right? Because it's only 150 calories. No alcohol means no alcohol, no candy, no sweets at all.
But wait about Cristy. I have a friend down the road that makes natural hemp pottery, and she does no sugar, low carb Reese's peanut butter cups. Can I have those? They're made out of carob.
Okay. That's called the workaround. We'll do a podcast about that. And absolutely not. We'll move on to number 6. You remember it from the food list. No soda on code red. And that includes the fizzy, the Zevias, the LaCroix. That includes ginger ale. That includes if you're sick and you think you need to have a 7-Up. No soda on, no soda. And even the Sprite Zero, no soda means no soda, because we just find that we just need to get people off of all that so they can completely reset.
And we talk about this on the podcast about soda, but if you give people on the channel, well, but I think we did a podcast about soda too, didn't we?
I don't remember.
Maybe we did.
So many,
but you guys, you just have one and then you have the other. And then all of a sudden you're full blown in a big old 5th of Jack and a big case of Coke. I'm just saying it's really easy to go down that road. So we just find that taking you off everything makes most sense for the first 30 days.
Yeah. Number 7 is no lattes, mochas, brevets, or any other specialty coffee drink while you're on code red. Those suckers are loaded with sugar. Even if you say, I want a skinny one, skinny does not mean no sugar. Our society doesn't see that way. We're not even talking about, we're not considering a sugar to be a problem yet in our society. We're kind of getting comfortable with it. So no, let's stay away from the lattes, mochas, brevets. They're loaded with sugars and you don't need them.
Cristy, wait a minute. My BFF Shane is a barista down at the thing, and I'm really sad if I can't see him every morning at 7. So if I have to go to the coffee, what can I order? What is the only acceptable thing at a code red acceptable drink at a coffee shop?
Yeah, you're going to be saving the $7.62 now. The only acceptable thing is black coffee with some sweetener in it, a Cristy approved sweetener, or you can get black coffee with heavy cream. No
pumps of sugar-free. Guys, I want to make sure that's really clear. You can't have pumps of sugar-free stuff. That's not okay. It's black coffee, or it's black coffee with heavy whipping cream, or, and then a Cristy approved stevia sweetener. So I just want to make sure that's clear, because again, this is a place where people love to do the workaround.
Oh, they sure do. And the next one, especially, think KetoCon. Number 8, no bread of any kind. And Carrie and I saw so many keto breads the last 2 times we've been to KetoCon. It is disgusting. That's also the workaround. You can't, no, we don't want to hear your bullcrap excuses about your bread. No, I can't give up bread. Well, then be sick and have a foot amputated because you can't get your diabetes under control. That's your future. Bread is going to be detrimental to your weight loss.
But okay, I take almonds and I grind them up. If almonds to eat are okay, why can't I have almond flour? I make my bread out of almond flour. I'm purist.
Yeah. And I'm happy that you're moving in a direction of better, but what we notice is that, if you eat almonds and you have the fiber and you have, and you're eating a handful of it, that's fine. But what we notice is when people start using almond flour, then they start making recipes, and then it turns into some big batch of chocolate chip cookies. And there's no difference between that and Betty Crocker's except for your almond flour. And then you're just back to ground zero. So we're going to stay away from that.
And trust me, we've heard it all with regard to these lists, and we've heard it all and we've seen it all. You're not going to ask me a question that I've never heard. You're not going to be like, what about kombucha? What about jicama? I'm going to be like, yeah, I've heard it. I've seen it. So I am so glad that you're making almond bread, but save that for your family and save it for when you're not in the challenge. It's a great alternative for your kids.
And again, if it was working for you, then you wouldn't be coming to seek us out. You would not be overweight. You would not have a high triglycerides would not be through the roof. Your waist circumference would not be over 33 inches if you're a girl. Like don't give us this baloney. Don't argue when you ain't all that. When you are sick and fat, don't argue with people who are not sick and fat. So I don't want to hear from you. Number 9, we want you to limit your coffee to 2 cups a day. And why is that? Because we don't want you to have really more than 350 milligrams of caffeine. Plus, if you drink coffee all day long, what makes you want to drink your water?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what happens, Cristy. And one time, I'll never forget this story. We had a gal who was not losing weight. Remember this, Cristy? And she was getting her coffee in the morning and then sipping it all day long. So essentially, remember how we talked about the rule with the, you got to have the meals. She was basically having one meal all day long. So her body never had to go seek out a fat source. And we figured out once we corrected that, she lost her weight.
She was triggering insulin for like 6 straight hours and her body never got a chance to return to baseline. She never gave her body a break. She was just sipping that coffee with cream in it. And it's guys that got calories. Well, Cristy, you said cream is okay. It is. We just still don't want you having it all day long. We want you to have separate meals and nothing in between. So we want you to limit that coffee. I don't care how much you like it. I love coffee probably more than the next guy does. And I really struggle with not wanting to drink it. I want to drink it all day long. Of course I do. I limit that coffee because it cuts into my water drinking and I can't cut into my water drinking. So guys, this is a non-negotiable. I don't care what your mailman thinks. I don't care what your pastor's wife thinks. I don't care what anybody thinks. We are the experts when it comes to losing weight. Again, you came to us because you're not happy with where you are and nothing's worked for you in the past. Number 10, one of the most important, can you think of it of all the ones that we have covered, sis? You're going to go,
it's the eating after.
Yes. Don't eat past 6:30 p.m.
People hate this rule.
They hate it, Carrie.
Oh, let me tell you, I have heard but I just, and I, and my job, and my kids, and you don't know, and I'm driving, and I'm hungry, and my work, and oh my Lord, my classes. I've heard it all. I don't want to hear it. You can enjoy being with your family. Here's a concept. I'm going to rock your world. You can enjoy being with your family, with your friends, with everybody, and not shove food in your pie hole. So sit with them. It's okay. You're going to be okay. But you absolutely do not give your body enough time to go through that process that I talked about earlier about searching out fat sources when you feed it so late at night. Mm-hmm. So no eating after 6:30. I don't want to hear it. Even if you teach, even if you are an anesthesiologist, even if you work, just stop eating, make arrangements, make it work, figure it out. I have never seen anybody get to goal eating at 6:30 at night that had a lot of weight to lose.
I was invited to 2 parties. One is a Friendsgiving. Right now we're recording this in November 2022 and Thanksgiving's coming up. I was invited to Marley's birthday party and a Friendsgiving to another one. And both of them don't start until in the afternoon and they don't even start eating until 6 p.m. And that's totally fine. Yeah. Or I think it's 7 p.m. or something, and they're all getting, and I said to Marley, I said, I would love to come. I would love to celebrate your birthday, that kind of thing. I don't eat that late. I mean, my last meal is definitely no later than 3. That's just the program that I'm on. I can't, and I go to bed early, so I can't digest it. Just, you guys, your body uses their sleep to completely reset your whole everything. It cleans itself out. And when you give it food right up until bedtime, how is it supposed to do its job? So she understood, but I just can't believe people eat so late. And Carrie, in Europe, I've been to Europe 11 times. They don't even start eating sometimes until 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, Cristy could go and not eat.
Yeah. I'm just going to go and not eat. I think that one of them, Friendsgiving, was everyone was going to bring a dish. And I was like, I ain't bringing no dish. Like, no, I'm not going to, my food's going to be done 4 hours before I even get there.
Cristy's going to drive up with her scrambled eggs. I'm just saying. Cristy's driving up with her butcher box. Not butcher box.
No, butcher box.
Not butcher box. Sorry.
I have not used butcher box for the record for
I
a year and a half.
I don't know why
Grasso means.
It came up first. I was going to tell you, Cristy, that there is when I was going to read you a scripture, because I didn't get to read a scripture in the last one.
Oh yeah.
And I have a scripture, and I believe, let me just preface this by saying there is safety in rules. There is safety in rules. When your children are little and the rule is don't do this, don't jump off things, don't run into the car, don't eat grapes because you might, unless they're cut, because you might choke on them. There's reasons why Cristy has made these rules. There's reasons why we do things the way we do. And I think it's really important. You may not like them. You may not understand them. They may not make sense to you, but trust us when we tell you there's safety in the rules. And so if you can trust that process, it'll make life so much easier. And it's just like back to our walk with Christ. There's safety in the rules with God. There's safety in the ideas and the tenets about loving people and, not doing things that'll harm us. And, there are reasons behind what God says. And so I love Romans 13:1 says, let every soul be subject unto higher powers, for there is no power but of God, the powers that be ordained of God. Let every soul be subject unto higher powers. So listen, if you're trying to lose weight, let yourself be subject to the higher power of Cristy, who knows what she's talking about. Now, I'm not saying Cristy is God. Don't write into me. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that
this is our jam.
This is our jam. Cristy gets what she's talking about. And there's just like there's safety in your relationship with God, that we don't understand everything. We don't get everything. You may not. We've mislearned. We've been taught so incorrectly about weight and weight loss, Cristy. I in nursing school was taught completely wrong about the food pyramid. So let's let you take what Cristy has learned, and let's let you and me, let's find safety in those rules and try it for 30 days. And if you don't like it, go back to eating cheese and fake bread and drink your cow's milk. That's all I'm saying.
I don't mean to sound mean, but I want to say one more time, I do not care. And at 46 years old, I have loads of confidence when I say this. I do not care what anybody thinks about who wants to say bull crap about you coming up code red. I don't care what your spouse thinks. I really don't. Your spouse is not an expert in this field. Your spouse needs to stick with hanging drywall, whatever the heck they do. All right. I don't care what your pastor's wife thinks. You're going to have loved ones come around you, and they're going to be well-meaning, and they're going to love you. And they're going to be trying to tell, hey, I tell you what, that gallon of water a day, are you whispering to you? Are you sure you should be doing this? That sounds unhealthy. Really? Because you didn't say nothing when I was having a half a case of Diet Coke a day, Karen. So now you're going to say something to me about a gallon of water. People are going to say crap to you. You've got to lean into my expertise and Carrie's and our coaches and our mentors and understand we got this. This is what we do. There's nobody better at getting weight off of people than Code Red. Nobody. So you're going to have this going on, people just in your ear. I don't care what they say or what they think. This works. It is tried and true, and it's been going on for years and years and years. There's a reason why Code Red is still around and thriving in a saturated industry like weight loss when all else has failed. All others have gone down, and we're still standing.
And, going back to the spouse thing, I just want to make a comment. Someone wrote into me once in the help desk, and they said, but my husband's a doctor. Okay, so what does your husband do? Granted, I'm respectful of his profession, but what did he do to help you lose weight? Why are you doing Code Red?
Exactly.
So that's what I would ask yourself that. Well, my chiropractor, well, my dietitian, well, then, okay, go ahead and do their plan and let me know how it works. And again, we're not being mean. It's just that if those people haven't been able to help you thus far, they don't really have a right to have any kind of an opinion about what you're doing. Of course, I believe they don't have a right to have an opinion about what you're doing anyway, but that's a whole nother podcast. The opinions of others do not matter. And it absolutely does not matter what they think. Like my friend Dawn, you say, if you aren't sleeping with them, if they ain't paying your bills, it doesn't matter. That's true. So stop worrying about what other people think about the rules in Code Red. Yeah. Because if what you were doing before worked, then that would have worked, and we would not be looking at each other right now. But there is safety in rules. There's safety in our rules. Yeah, in structure. And that's why God gives us structure as humans. That's why we give our children structure. That's why we give our animals structure and fences, just not to keep them in, but to keep some things out. So let us come around you and let us give you structure. And these rules may seem harsh, but they are for your own good. I promise you.
I love that. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. We love coming to you every week. We love talking to you, bringing this good truth and encouragement, support, education, information, and love. That's what we believe. And glad we're getting back to basic with the rules. You guys, we will see you on the next one. Thank you, everybody. Hey, I'm Cristy Code Red, and thank you for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you want to stay connected to other rebels like you, join us in our private network. Our Code Red app is a one-stop shop, free from ads, algorithms, and censorship, and a place where you can see, listen, and watch everything Code Red. You'll be encouraged, motivated, and fired up to stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Get recipe ideas, tips, tricks, and help from coaches, mentors, and other rebels. You can also purchase products, programs, and coaching all right there in one place. And if you have any trouble navigating the app, we're right there to help you. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/APP to join for free. And I'll see you on the next episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle.